Hello, everybody. Welcome back. All righty, we're back. It's day 41. We're just working our way through doing all the things. Okay, you guys do a favor before we even start. Like the video, share, subscribe, follow. Whatever platform you're on, do whatever that thing requires of you to do. Thank y'all again so much for stopping by and hanging out with me. It means so much, means the world. Because here's what I know to be true. You could be anywhere you want to be, and you're choosing to spend this hour, this little bit of time. I try to be done in an hour. This little bit of time you're choosing to spend with me. And I am so appreciative. You just will not ever be able to understand that. But again, like the video, share, subscribe, tap the hearts, do all those things. It just, for some reason, seems to help push it out into the algorithm, and that helps our video go farther. I am excited about tonight's topic because it is near and dear to my heart. When the Lord gave me ministry, thank you so much, God bless you. When the Lord gave me ministry, he put something very significant on my heart. And it is for today, right? It's for today. Even though he gave it to me years ago, it's still for today. God put marriage on my heart very strong, very heavy. Not for me to be married. That I believe is God's plan, but for me to teach marriage as best as I can, limited as I am. There are so many social people out here that are teaching all of these concepts and great things. And I think it's great. It makes for so great content. It makes for people to keep coming back to your videos, especially when you can articulate it so eloquently. Listen, I think that marriage is just very simple. It's very simple. It's two people coming together to decide that they want to commit and covenant with each other, not just commit. See, commitment is a thing, but there's something about a covenant, right? That takes that commitment to a whole nother level. Covenant allows me to have access to everything my spouse has access to. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Covenant allows nobody else to supersede my role or my place in their life. Covenant allows me the final say as to what happens if something detrimental were to happen to my spouse, right? I'm not going to go to the funeral and be the special friend, right? That's not a thing, because we all know that that lady or that man have no rights where that person is concerned. They're not even considered next of kin, no matter how long you've been married. Been with them as a partner. You only get those covenantal rights when you seal that thing with marriage. And so God just placed that very strongly on my heart all those many years ago, partly out of the fact that my marriage fell apart, right? My marriage did not last. And I understand that I was partly to blame. I wasn't raised seeing positive marriage. I saw marriage. Everybody in my family was married except my mom. I think my mother was the only one of her siblings that was never married, of the siblings that survived. So my mother was the only sibling. Let me go back in my memory to remember there was 15 of them. And I think she was the only one that never got married. I'm breaking that. That curse cannot live at my house. I believe in marriage very strongly. All of her other siblings were married or are still married at this point, or they, have lost their spouses or whatever the case. But God just put that in my heart so strongly. And what I believe my piece is to just teach what I know. Now, when I talk about marriage, I'm going to be very honest with you. I stick to and focus very heavily on the woman's role, because God did not make me a man. I can kind of get a glimpse into what men maybe think, but I'm only speculating because I am not a man. I don't know what a man thinks like. I don't know what he feels like. I'm very actually confused about men altogether. And so I stay out of that lane. It's not my realm. It's not what God called me to, but he did give me an insight into being a wife. In Titus chapter 2, verses 3-5, it says, and likewise, the older women shall teach the younger women how to be of sober mind. First of all, we got to be clear thinking. It says, then we teach them how to be good women, right? Some people are not good women. We don't even know what our bodies do. We have no way of knowing how to relate to a man. We have no way of knowing how to please a man. I've had men tell me before, I'm not going to marry anybody I'm not sexually compatible with. And I'm thinking, really? That's your final answer? I mean, that's like where we going with this? Because what happens when when it's not working anymore. Like what if she says, hey, listen, you can't exactly do what I'm needing over here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just bail out on you. I think that's such a small part of marriage. I believe it's an important part. I believe it's a vital part. And I believe that we should strive to have the best intimate life that we can have. I plan it. I ask the Lord for a very robust intimate life. Robust. I'm working out every day just so I could do the things, right? But it's so small because at this age, drives go down. Child, we tired. We just tired. Ain't nobody up all night long. I'm in the bed at 9:30. As soon as I'm done with this, I'm in the bed, right? I've already had my shower for the evening. I've done the things. I'm tired. I'm up at 3 a.m. every morning. So it's not that. But I believe in teaching how to be a good woman that then translate into being a good wife. So a good woman that a man wants to partner with, couple his life with, and then she becomes his wife. And through that coupling and that intimacy that should be in a marriage, she becomes a mother, right? Those are the things that I do. I don't do the other stuff. Whatever, I don't talk about the husband. I don't allow their wives to come and gripe to me about their husband. I'm not married to him. I can't help that. I can help you, but I can't help that. And sometimes through me talking it out with you, you get to see what you didn't do correctly. I know everybody want to throw him under the bus, but listen, what was your part? Because that was probably the hardest lesson I ever had to learn about myself was the breakup of my marriage did not start when my husband walked out the door. The breakup of my marriage started months before we even got married, because he said to me, if I would have been listening, he didn't want to be married. He didn't say it in those words, but there was some actions and some other things that happened that said, I don't want to be married. I like and I enjoy the acts of marriage, and I like living together because we live together and all the things. But he didn't want to be married, and I didn't hear that. I was so busy doing what I was doing. So again, that's my lane. That's where I stay. I try not to be, I'm not eloquent of speech always. It's just simple. So day 41 is called My Desire, a Wife of Noble Character. If you go into the Bible, excuse me, y'all, I'm not tired. That's just a tick that happens when I'm on this camera. If you go into the Bible and you go to Proverbs chapter 31 and you start at verse 10 and you work your way through 31, usually that title right above verse 10 says a wife of noble character, right? And do we really even know what that means? Most people will say to you, argue you into the ground that Proverbs 31 is not talking about a physical woman. It's talking about the church. And I understand. I get that. I'm not about to argue that point with you. But what I can say is that particular passage of scripture can be about a woman, a physical woman. Now, does she do a lot? Absolutely. But so do we, right? We all do all the things. If you think about her in light of what you do, you are probably doing a lot of what she's done. There may be some tweaks that we need to make. However, my desire is to not put her off on the church. I desire to be her. Lord, let me be this person. I want to be this wife of noble character that my husband is proud of, that my husband does not mind taking me out in public and showing me off to his friends and his coworkers. I can go to his job. Anywhere I want to go with this man, I can go, because he is not afraid to have me seen with him in public because I've done crazy stuff, right? So I believe in that. If you go back into the Bible, into the dictionary and just look up noble, noble means belonging to a hereditary class with high social or political status. Is really an aristocrat. That's what noble means. It means that you have high status, you are high society. My sister and I, we like period dramas. And one period drama we've been watching is called The Gilded Age. And there's old money and there's new money. So there's this woman who comes in and she wants to be a part of society. Now, the way society works is you can't just join. You have to be invited in. You got to marry in. And she doesn't do any of that because her husband is with the railroad. They're not from around here. They just move in. They build a house, and they're really rubbing people the wrong way because they want to be a part of a group that really doesn't want them. And so when you think about nobility, again, it's belonging to a hereditary class with high social or political status. Do we have that? You can. I may not have it now, but again, I can, right? It's also an imposing or magnificent size or appearance. And what I wrote in my book here is that this woman, this nobility, right? This high social status, she takes up space. She takes up space, not rudely, right? Not rudely. She takes up space to say, I'm here, right? I was looking at myself, and I'm looking at myself in the mirror right after I had went to the gym early, and I sweat like crazy. So I was like, let me just grab a quick shower before I do my live tonight. And I don't think I look pretty at all until I put earrings on. Earrings do something for me. Without earrings, I'll be looking raggedy. So put a little conditioner in my hair. This is just leave-in conditioner and nothing else. Put my earrings on, and I put my lipstick on. And there's a difference between before the shower and after the shower. I can go in any room right now looking the way I look, and people would stop and turn their heads. Partially because I'm a blonde, right? That right there is a conversation starter. I get stopped so many times, and people say, I love your hair. Oh my God, I just love. I'm a statement piece. Then I wear very big earrings. I usually wear really huge earrings. These are kind of understated for me, but I'm going in there, and it causes a conversation starter. I wear lots of bangles. I love, love, love bangles. There are times when I don't want to click and clang down the hallway, but I love a good accessory piece. It's a conversation starter. People stop. They want to see you. My children actually have been conversation starters. I remember one day we were in the doctor's office, and they were sitting, and they had their books, no iPods, no phones, none of that. They just had their regular hardbound copy books. And one of the people came over to me, and she said, I haven't seen a child read a book in years. She said, that is amazing that your children are actually reading books. It's the woman who we set the tempo, we set the atmosphere. That doesn't mean we overshadow our husbands. Absolutely not. He has his own role. But within my role as a wife, my role as a mother, my role as a woman, right? I'm supposed to go in and command an audience with whomever. The queen never goes anywhere where people aren't curtsying. Everywhere the queen goes, they're curtsying. Every time she come past, they curtsy, because she has the status that says she's supposed to be respected. And this is how you respect her. You always curtsy. You don't take up too much of her time. Don't look in her, whatever the protocols are for the people in her kingdom or her queendom. You know exactly what to do when this person is in your space. And so for me, I just believe in taking up space when I go into a place. Again, not to overshadow anybody else, but I'm coming in here as who I am. And you're not going to tell me that I'm not supposed to be here, because just by the sheer fact of who I am and the nobility that I belong to, I'm supposed to be here. If I think about it, going back into the Bible, I am a chosen generation, a royal priesthood. I am already a part of royalty, and I should carry myself that way. Most of us don't, though. If you think about this, and I'm not pointing fingers at anybody, I do not follow one person on one particular platform. I'll follow anybody. I'm too busy trying to worry about me. But as you're getting caught up in the scroll, right, you see different things, and you see different people, and you see, I think the saddest thing for me is to see husbands and wives disrespecting each other on social platforms, specifically the wives disrespecting the husbands. I don't think these pranks are cute. I don't think I don't think when the kids tell the mom to shut up just to get a rise out of the dad, I don't think that's cute, because now you're causing issues and problems. You think it's funny and you trying to get social media views. This man has now come into his full masculine. He's about to go on attack mode because what belongs to him is being attacked by something else. And now I'm about to fight. And it's a prank, it's a prank, it's a prank. That was not funny. That man had to come out of his whole he was about to hurt somebody behind you. I don't think it's funny when women talk down to their men. I don't think it's funny when we teach our children how to talk down to our men. I was looking at, I don't even know their names, child. It's a dad and he's doing the little girl's hair. And she's just saying, Daddy, please, you're doing too. No, I don't. And she's just talking him crazy. And he's just so patient. That behavior came from somewhere. If the children are doing it, it came from somewhere. Where did that exactly come from? There's no reverence for the role of the father. There's no reverence for the role of the husband anymore. And social media is making it worse and worse. And before we know it, there's somebody coming on here saying, oh, we broke up, we split up, we got divorced, we're not together no more, because at some point we forgot to reverence each other. So that's my role. My role is to teach that reverence for your spouse. My role is to teach you how to self-reflect on the things that you did, you said, you didn't do, you didn't say. Listen, nobody has a headache every night of the week. Hear me by the Holy Ghost. When the Lord put a husband and a wife together, and there now is legal right to have intimacy, and you got a headache every night, you need to go to the doctor and figure out what your issue is, if it's hormonal, whatever it is. Because some of us over here dying on the vine, honey, because we can't do nothing with nobody. And the Lord saw fit to give you a spouse, and you're not even ministering to that spouse. Intimacy should be ministry. And most women don't understand that. I know several women who have never been taught anything about their body. I wasn't taught anything about my body. Nothing. When I got my cycle, all I heard was, now you can have a baby. Well, what does that mean? Where does the babies come from? I'm still thinking the stork drops them off, right? So we have been taught nothing about ourselves. And then when we're trying to be in an intimate relationship with I had somebody tell me, I said, well, what's going on? And they said, my husband want me to twerk. I said, well, girl, get a class. What's the problem? I mean, what? You married now, you can for sure do all of that. And they said, I grew up in purity culture. Me too. But that's not gonna work with the type of individual you're married to. So we gotta, and I think there's nothing wrong with purity. I grew up in that. But it has locked so many people into a place, in a mindset where you can't do you can't touch hands, you can't kiss, you can't hold, you can't cuddle, you can't nothing. And I'm not saying that you should be doing those things. You have your own personal convictions. But what I am saying is, once you throw somebody into marriage, you didn't do anything. Don't be doing stuff you shouldn't be doing, right? But nothing, not even a handhold. Now you throw them into the wedding night and there is no satisfaction on either part. There's nobody feeling joy, happiness, nothing. And this is a pattern that's perpetuated for years and years and years until somebody in that situation gets tired of it and then they go seeking it somewhere else. I told someone very recently, and I share this quite often, when that person said to me, I'm not going to marry nobody I'm not compatible with. Do you not trust the Lord enough that you and your person, once the Lord allows you to be in holy matrimony and covenant committed, that you all could work each other through the kinks, for lack of a better term? Could he not talk you through it? That's the thing. Could she not talk you through it? I think the joy of being married, especially when you have abstained from intimacy. I'm not talking, intimacy is so different. I'm not talking about physical sexual intimacy. I'm talking about you can be intimate in your brain space. Like, make love to me here first. Like, just get my mind going. You know what I'm saying? Stimulate my mind. What is your intellectualness. Give me some of that. Your emotional intelligence. Give me that. That right there is more stimulating than anything else. But I think on the other hand, because men are very high drive, most of them, we got to work that part out. Listen, babe, I'm not exactly sure how all this works. I came out of a purity culture. I'm gonna need you to walk me through this. I'm going to need you to talk me through this. I'm going to need you to help me. I'm going to need you to be patient. I'm going to need you to show me grace. And I'm also going to need you to show me what you like. Okay, moving on. Noble also means having or showing fine personal qualities or high moral principles and ideas, high moral standards, high moral values. It's about your morality, okay? Every little girl dreams of the same thing, right? To be a wife and a mother. Okay, maybe it's just me. I dreamed and still do dream of being a wife. I am already a mother. I was a wife before. I was married. I was with the same man for 18 years. We were married 2 months short of 14, but we were together for 18. We have children together. And it was bad from the start, right? We never should have committed or covenanted together with each other, but we did. And it was bad. Again, I did not have a healthy role model. My mother wasn't married. My grandparents were married for 50 years. They argued every day for 50 years, fought like cats and dogs. I saw domestic violence just all over my house. I saw all kinds of Friday night fights and stuff flying across the room and glass breaking and shattering and tearing your whole house all to pieces. He never saw any of that. And so here you have these two dysfunctional people coming together. And so when I finally got to the point, again, I don't want to generalize or put everybody in a lump sum, because I think that there's some women who don't desire. Paul said, I wish that y'all were all like me and didn't desire marriage. But those of you who do, y'all need to go ahead and get married. Like just take care of it, get married, and be all do things. Right. But there are some people that are called specifically to the ministry of singlehood. That's not my portion or my testimony. I just happen to be single at current, but I don't believe that God has that for me. So you have to understand where you are. Now, I don't laugh at this, but I didn't just want to be a wife. I was raised to be a wife. My grandparents raised me to be a wife. I was shown how to cook, how to clean, how to do everything that a husband would need, short of that intimacy part, because my grandparents never taught me nothing about that. But I was taught the other stuff. I know how to work on a farm. I know how to skin animals. I know how to put up animals. I know how to salt down meat. I know how to wring a chicken's neck. I mean, I was raised country, Southern country, to be somebody's wife. Actually, the boy across the street, right? That was what it was supposed to be. And we were just going to live on the land and live and be happy with one another. And that was not what happened. It really was not. My grandparents were not educated. My grandmother went to 3rd grade. My grandfather went to 1st grade. They could write their names. My grandfather could count. They could do money. Money was an important thing. And so they would be able to do that. But there was nothing else that they knew how to do. So any education that I got past the 12th grade really didn't have anything to do with my grandparents. It had more to do with people who saw that my brain I had brain power, and I really should be out there doing more than just trying to be married. But somewhere the deepest core parts of who I was, being a wife, just has always been there. Now, Proverbs, again, 31, 10 through 31, in many Bibles says the wife of noble character. I wrote this in 22, but I'm going to say this in 25. Some women are not even trying to become wives. They're really not. They are very satisfied with their single status. They're satisfied with situationships. They're satisfied with friends with benefits ships. They're satisfied with being the dominant aggressor and having multiple people at the same time, not at the same time, but like they can have a Friday night, a Saturday night, and probably a Monday, Tuesday. They have every night of the week if they wanted to. And that usually was the role of the man. So many roles are being reversed these days, where the women are really doing what the men do or did. They out here chasing their own dreams, living their own life, getting their own bag. And the thought of marriage is just really like a millstone around their neck. They like, Lord, this gonna turn off everything I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to ask nobody where I'm going. I'm not trying to ask nobody what I'm doing or tell nobody. I'm just living my best life. But at my age and the stage of life that God has me in, that's not my testimony. I desire to be a wife. Even at 49, I'll be 50 on my birthday. I desire to be somebody's wife, to couple, to partner, to covenant with them. Covenant is an agreement as a noun. As a verb, it means agreed by lease, deed, or other legal contract. It's a binding legal contract that two parties enter in. And in that covenant, we state what each person is going to do. I, Shakima, take you to be my lawfully wedded husband, to have and to hold, and rich and poor, and sticking in health, and good and bad, and all the stuff with your ex-wife and your baby daddies and your mamas and kids and all that. And we just list out all the stuff that we plan to do. And they do the same for us. And the guy says, by the power vested in me, by the state of blah, 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 you are now husband and wife. You may kiss the bride, and all should be well. But all is not well every time. And sometimes you have to work your way through the rough spots. You got to work your way through the rough patches, right? The truth of the matter is, I do want to, I've prayed and asked God if I could make love again. I have asked that question. God, would you please allow me to make love again? It has been a very long time. A very long time. The last time I was physically touched by a person, my son was 4 months old. So I desired that part. But I don't just desire that part because I'm older now, right? I know more. I know better. I know that there's something that I bring to the table that can help advance my husband. I know that there are skills and talents and gifts and things that I have and possess that will only make him better. The Bible tells us in Proverbs 18:22, he that finds a wife finds a good thing and obtain favor from the Lord. There's a favor that rests on my life that can only amplify this man once he connects with me. And so I'm not out here just trying to get what I'm trying to get. I'm out here trying to give what God gave me to give, which was the gift of favor that I can then wrap up in a nice little bow and give to my husband. Like, what do you give your husband on your wedding night? Favor. I'm giving you. This is what God placed on the inside of me, and you now have access to all of it. And it has nothing to do with an intimate relationship. It is everything that happens in my brain space. It's everything that happens when my creative juices start flowing. It's everything that happens when I open up the gift of hospitality and invite people in to our home. And it looks nice and it smells nice and the kids are acting right and everything is properly put where it needs to be. It's all of those types of things. And we just get stuck at the intimate part. That's going to be what it's going to be. Let me tell you something. Here's the thing, and it's the truth. God knows a woman's body is going to respond to a man's body. That's chemistry. That's biology. It's going to happen. And you hope it's earth shattering and stars and pew, pew, pew. You hope it's all that. But if not, there's got to be something else more than that. And my desire to when I couple with my husband is to bring him the very best of who I am. So that when people see him, they go, oh my God, before he got married, he was all right. But now, oh my gosh, how you get to this part? It was that woman that God gave me. That's what I'm aspiring to. And I'm not saying that I only make him good. He's going to make me better as well. Because nobody brings out the best in you like your spouse. I mean, I might have to die to myself. I might have to come back and apologize 15 times for something I did wrong, something I didn't know I did wrong, something I said wrong and didn't realize it was wrong based on my raising and my environment when I was growing up, all the things. But I still desire to do that with someone. I'm committed to marriage because marriage and family were God's idea. If you go back in the beginning when Adam was formed and created, and God said, it's not good for man to be alone. Let me make him a helper, right? And from those two, he said then, be fruitful and multiply. They already had the animals. They already had the garden. So they had work to do. But now we get to ministry, intimacy. We get to minister to one another. And Eve became pregnant and she had sons. And so their family was established. Now, we all know that there was some issues within the family when you got brothers fighting brothers and one brother just takes the other brother out. Now, how did we get to that part? Now, I mean, that's a whole nother teaching. But listen, family is God's idea. So I don't just want the man. I want the family. Now, am I physically going to have any more children with any man that God gives me? Absolutely not. 100%. That's not ever going to happen. It cannot happen. There's nothing, not over here. I am done with that. But I do have I have my children, and I'll have his children if he has any. Because what's mine is yours, and what's yours is mine. Gone are the days, for me at least, where I'll meet a man that has kids and I'll say to him, I'll accept you, but not your children. Are you crazy? Have you lost your mind? You accept that man with everything he has, and he accepts you with everything you have. I have 4 children. Count them, 4. They're all grown except the last one, but I still got 4 of them, and I got a son in love. Praise the Lord. So you get me, and you get my 5 crazies and our 4 dogs, and a cat. My son has a cat. My daughter has 2 dogs, and I got 2. You get all of us, but we're willing to be here with you because God ordained family. There's something about the legacy of family that I'm committed to. I can't be committed to everybody, but I can commit to this one individual that God will allow me to covenant with. And then he will allow me to take on whatever he has going on. And he's going to take on whatever I got going on. And I pray that we don't have too much going on, that we can't focus on the family and the legacy that God wants us to focus on. Some people have way too much happening. And I think when you're in your single season, thank you, Holy Spirit. I think when you're in your single season is the time when you need to be dealing with all of the stuff. You understand? 16 years is a long time to be single. And for me not to have worked on anything in that time is absolutely crazy. But then I pray to the Lord and ask him to send me a man that has to come into my crazy. No, player, no. In 16 years, we have gotten debt free. In 16 years, I've raised 3 of my 4 children to grown adulthood, to live on their own, to move out, to go to their own places where they stay forever. They have not ever once moved back in. My daughter, one time for 6 weeks, my oldest one, she got it together after that because she did not want to be here with me. She was like, no, ma'am, this is not working. I've been too grown for too long. I got to get out. Somebody asked me the other day, because my finances have been quite a little bit tighter than normal. And they're like, well, why don't you make your children give you a stipend every month? Ma'am, how would I? These people are taking care of their own households. I would be derelict in my duty and responsibility as a parent to make them give me money. I just need to generate more income. That's it. There's been times when my money has been very fluid. It's just a little tight right now. All the bills are paid. Ain't nobody hungry. We good. But to force them to give me a stipend every month, that's crazy. Who lives like that? That's not the legacy that I'm trying to leave for my children, that you got to take care of me when I'm quite capable of taking care of myself. Now, if my children had it like that and they wanted to send me something, I'm not going to stop them, but I'm not going to have 16 years worth of time to get me together and not be able to know how to make income. I know how to make income. It's just tight. It's okay. Absolutely the craziest. Okay. It was absolutely crazy. But here's the thing. I believe that God has ordained my life to couple with another so that we can work on family, so we can teach family, so we can do all of the things that family entails and teach that for sure. Family is a group of 2 or more persons related by birth, marriage, or adoption who live together. We may not necessarily live under the same roof, but we live together in harmony. My children live we're all across the country, and I'm thankful for them. But I'm thankful that they live where they live and they're able to take care of their households and not mine. But when I think about the things I've taught my children, I start to see those things in their life. And I believe that the Lord has allowed me to see it, even though I've been doing it alone. I believe that there's a greater work that can be done when God allows me to couple. But here's the great truth. Family is under attack. Again, it's under attack. When you go on these social spaces and you start seeing these women emasculate their husbands, that's an attack. That's an all, and we think it's cute. We laughing and we liking it. We sharing it 9 zillion times. They done went viral 20 times because they out here treating their husband crazy. And before you know it, after they 15 of fame is over, they're going to be divorced because it's not funny. Y'all seen those people who have unalived their spouses on live because she disrespected me because we think it's cute. It's not cute. The things that are happening out here in these 2025 streets and before now with marriages and family, it's not a thing. I saw something the other day that this couple adopted these 2 boys, and everybody's thinking they doing a good job adopting those 2 boys, and ended up they was out there doing all kinds of stuff to the boys themselves. Y'all, family is under attack. And I know that men will say, I don't want to raise nobody else's kids but mine. But do you know what? Somebody raised you, and it wasn't always your mama and your daddy neither. Y'all better go back in your memory and think about who stepped in and helped take care of you. That's all I'm telling you. There are families, there are children out here that need families, yet we are letting them go to any and everybody because we don't want to be involved. Oh, no, that's not my calling. And I'm not saying everybody needs to adopt a kid, but what I am telling you is there are plenty of children who need healthy families. And if you're a healthy family, you may want to consider, I want to have my own children. I get it. You've been trying for 10 years and you don't have one yet. I'm not saying that the Lord cannot do what he want to do. He can. But what I am telling you is that he has already given you another resource to be able to build a family. Building a family is not just about being pregnant. I said, do you want to be a mama or do you want to be pregnant? It's a whole other thing when your ankles are swollen up. It's a whole nother thing when you can't keep no food down and your head is in the toilet every day. It's a whole nother thing, honey, when you get to that ring of fire, when that baby's head that's 10 centimeters is about to come out something the size of a watermelon is about to come out something the size of a lemon. Child, let me tell you something. Do you want to be pregnant or do you want to be a parent? Because they're very different. I enjoyed pregnancy more than anybody, but with every pregnancy, it fought my body. With every pregnancy, the baby tried to come earlier and earlier. The only baby that was late was my first one. She was born at 41 weeks. My son came, he came 2 days early. My daughter tried to come 4 weeks early, and my youngest son tried to come 17 weeks early. I started having contractions with him at 23 weeks. Went on bed rest at 30 weeks. And had gestational diabetes. Now, I didn't need any of that. I'm just telling you. And you got to ask yourself, do I want to be pregnant or do I want to be a parent? I'm not negating the fact that there's something special about carrying your own children. I've carried 4 of my own. But for those who cannot do it physically, whatever the case might be, do not allow yourself to miss other opportunities or areas to be parents. Some of us may not ever be physical parents, but you might be a spiritual parent. There may be someone who needs to come up under your wing and just get some teaching of things. I just told you certain women don't even know how their bodies work. Now, here's what we can do. We can go get a life coach and an intimacy coach, and we can pay all this money for people to teach us how to be all the things. Or you can just say, hey, girl, come to my house on Sundays after church. I'll help you. Right? It doesn't have to cost them anything because some of us can't afford to pay for all of that. There's so many things that I don't know. I know a lot, but there are things that I don't know. And I was looking at somebody's yesterday and I was like, Lord, can I really afford to put this in my budget? And I said, you know what, God, if you can teach me all the things, you can teach me this as well. You've taught me so many things. How can you not teach me how to love my husband? God, I don't know all the ins and outs, but I believe that you can actually download to me through the Holy Spirit exactly how I'm supposed to love this man. I believe that. I'm going to move on. Here's the thing. As a wife, right? What is a wife supposed to do? Because there's so many people out here telling you what your wife is supposed to do. Here's the thing. Not every wife is going to do the same thing. But the wife that I desire to be, I desire to be a capable wife. A lot of people look at me and they say, oh, you don't need no man. I do need a man. But at current, I don't have one. So for me to sit here and wait 16 years for the man to come and cut my grass, I just get Mr. Jerome. I just hire it out. Mr. Jerome will come and cut the grass. It ain't no problem. How would I just sit here and not have curb appeal for the front of my house? Because I'm waiting. I'm not waiting for him to come to show him that I'm capable. I need, when he gets here, to know that I'm capable. You know what? She can put together some stuff. Okay, I see. Oh, I like it. I remember the one guy, the only one and only guy I dated the whole 16 years, came to my house one time, just once. He didn't come again. And he walks in the front door and he looks around and he says, this is nice. Well, what did you expect? What did you expect? You expect roaches to be running across the floor? I mean, who you been with? What you got going on? I want to be a capable wife. I want to be intelligent. I want to be able to have an intellectual conversation with my husband. I don't want him to always tell me what I'm thinking. I want to be able to share my thoughts with him and we be able to collaborate and come up with what works best, what's the best solution for our family. That's what I desire. And I don't want anything less than that. I see a lot of spouses that one is smarter than the other spouse and they just down in the other. Or one don't have any thought process. She can't bring nothing, or he don't have nothing to add. So therefore, they found no value in you because you're not intellectual. I'm smart. I'm a very smart person. Am I smarter than you? Maybe not. But I do have thoughts. Do I believe that the responsibility of the decision rests on my husband? Absolutely. But I'm not going to let him make some crazy decision without giving him my opinion. In love, I desire to be trustworthy. You can trust me with your family. You can trust me with your children. You can trust me with your ex-wife, whatever, your baby mom, whatever. You can trust that I'm not going to go out here and act crazy because that's not how I roll. You can trust me with your finances. Why? Because I'm taking care of my finances. Why would I now be irresponsible with your money when I'm not going to be irresponsible with my money? Oh, because some people are. Oh, I got my money and his money, so let me just save all mine and I'm going to spend all his. That is irresponsible to the family. How can we get ahead if I'm not responsible with my coins? This is what I tell people all the time. The level that a man finds me is where I'm comfortable taking care of myself. When you show up, we should now have jumped to the level that I'm comfortable taking care of myself. Now we up here because we've combined two households. Now we have two working incomes. I'm out of debt. You got debt? No worries, baby. I got this. So you going to pay all the bills because I know some men need that just so they can feel manly. You pay all the bills. But what I'm going to do with my paycheck is I'm now going to start chunking away at your debt because we're not going to be in debt. Because we not going to be in debt. That's his debt. It ain't mine. When you take him, you take it all. When you say I do, you did to all the stuff he did. Whether you had anything to do with it or not. No, you didn't lay down and do the horizontal mambo with that woman and got them kids. But you said yes to that man. Guess what you got? Them kids. And if at Christmas time or birthday time, your kids got more than his kids, shame on you. And if that's the case, he better see that before he marries you. We not spending $20 on yours and $200 on mine. As my grandmama would say, wide it out. We gonna divide it out. Well, our sum, we dividing it out equally to everybody. Because I'm not the type of individual that's going to let you neglect your children just so you can take care of my children. I've heard plenty of people say, I don't give a care about his kids. I care about my kids. They're my kids if I take that man. Period. That's me. That's not everybody. See, I'm not everybody's wife either. God has foreordained me to be the wife of one husband, and he already knows who that is. I don't know who it is, but God knows. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get myself together. I'm preparing for marriage. I want to be a wife that has my husband's confidence. No matter what he calls me and asks me to do, no matter when he calls me and wants to know where I am, he has every confidence that I am keeping his name in a good standing. My wife is not somewhere she's not supposed to be. She's not doing something she's not supposed to do. She's not with nobody she's not supposed to be with. Oh, don't worry about it. You need something? Okay, let me call my wife. She gonna help us. She can help host the event. Oh, you need somebody to bring baked goods to? Don't worry about it. Let me call my wife. My husband can trust me with his secrets. My husband can trust me with his medical. He can trust me with his ex. He can trust me with his children. He can trust me with his finances. He can trust me with his whatever he got. I want to be found trustworthy. I also want to be a wife that brings comfort to his family. I ask the Lord, God, can you please give me a mother-in-law that I love and that loves me back, that we can do stuff together? I didn't have that in my first marriage. My mother-in-law hated me, absolutely hated me. She didn't love me until I divorced her son. After I divorced her son, she loved me now more than she ever loved me. She definitely don't love the new daughter-in-law at all. I got the grandkids. She loves me. Called me the other day. Just want to let you know I love you. I love you too. Because I genuinely do. As a human, not as being a part of that family again. I don't desire none of that. I'm good. But my new situation, what I'm praying and asking God for, can my mother-in-law and I just get along? Can I get along with your family? I desire to be a comfort to that. I want to work hard to provide for my family while working all of the gifts and talents that I have. God, let me use every gift and talent that you gave me to be able to further advance my family. That's the wife I want to be. That's the wife of noble character that I desire to be. Because if you go back and read Proverbs 10, 31, 10 through 31, she was all of those things. I desire to get up early to provide food for my family and those who work for my family. Y'all, I'm up every morning at 3:30 in the morning. And I don't know why the Lord is waking me up, but he's waking me up. And I'm like, okay, God, what is it that you want me to do? I'm not saying you got to get up at 3:30 in the morning, but if you sleep until noon, half the day is gone. If you sleep until 1 a.m., 2 a.m., unless you work a nighttime job that lets you off first thing in the morning, half the day is gone. That man got to come home and the house is tore up. The dishes ain't done. Ain't nothing on the stove. Ain't no pots jumping. Kids raggedy. Ain't nobody picked up from school. And then he's supposed to just go out and work all the things, just work some more. I don't understand that. I need to get up early. I garden. I love to garden. And I was looking earlier in my canning closet. I have a closet just for my canning stuff. My supply is getting low. And I looked at myself and I said, Shakima, this cannot be. We got to stack this stuff up. I enjoy this. I take things out and I share it with other people, but I got to keep replenishing because my husband, we don't lack nothing. No good thing will God withhold from us, and we lack nothing. And I'm not going to let my desire, my love of giving stuff to other people, because I have a generous spirit, I believe, to have us out here trying to figure out where our next is coming from. No, I know how to put stuff in the ground. I know how to wait a little bit of time, and then I know how to harvest it. And once I harvest it, I know what to do with it. So God, I pray, give me the ability to be able to feed my family. Whether that's going to the grocery store or growing it in the backyard, whichever one you want me to do, God, give it to me. I desire to be a support to my husband in the growth of his spirit, his spiritual well-being. I want to check in. How are you? Where are you in God? What's going on? What's the Lord speaking to you? How can I support you in this? What do you need from me? I want to lay hands on that man and pray for him. You hear me? Your body hurt? That's all right. We going to the doctor, but before we get there, let me get this oil out. Let me lay hands on you. Let me let you facing some type of spiritual attack. Don't worry about it. I got it. Don't worry about it. I'm praying. You praying, but I'm praying too. We are in agreement. Yes, I am unmarried right now. I do not have a spouse, but I desire it. Absolutely. I desire to have a great business sense so that I can help my husband make sound financial decisions. That's what a wife of noble character should want to do. So again, I have debt. I'm debt free. He got debt. Now we've increased our income by at least one extra job. I'm going to spend my money and his money. No, I'm not. He's going to take care of them bills and I'm going to pay that debt. But you didn't make the debt. That's right. But I'm married to this man. I'm married to this man. I accepted him with everything he has. And I have the ability, because I work a job, to now help ease this pressure off of his shoulders. He was trying to figure it all out, how he was going to do it. I'm not saying I'm taking it all off of him, because he still has a responsibility and do his due diligence for this family. But I'm stepping in and I am lending to whatever else he has going on. And we're going to get out of this thing, no matter how long it takes us. Well, my husband wants me to stay home. I get that. Can you afford to stay home? You better look at your budget sheet and figure out if he needs your income or not. Now, he shouldn't need it. I get that. But you better make sure that all the I's are dotted and all the T's are crossed before you sit your behind down. And if he still wants you to stay home, there's nothing wrong with the conversation that says, babe, I understand you want me to stay home and I want to stay home, but I don't have kids right now. We don't have children right now. We just got married, but we do have this heavy debt over our head. Would it be okay with you if I worked for a year, to however long you average it out? Would it be okay with you if I just work for this amount? I have a good job. They pay me well. I want to go ahead and get this debt off of us so that by the time we do decide to have children and I'm staying home, we're in a good spot. You may not even be in debt, but babe, do you mind if I work and we take my money and we put it towards the savings? Let's invest something. Let's buy some property. Let's do something like that. Those are the things I desire. God, give me a mind that's business minded so that I can help my husband understand that, yes, this is how much we have, but if we invest this right, we're going to have a different number at the end of this investment period. Some people just want to get married again for that intimate part. I want to get married for partnership. Somebody wrote in the comments, you're a team. I believe in teamwork. A wife of noble character is strong physically and spiritually, giving her family long life. Y'all, I started going to the gym real solid about a year ago. And I asked the Lord for one thing. I said, Lord, I want to give my husband and my children long life. Will you allow me to do what I need to do in the gym? And I go to the gym every single day. Sometimes on Saturdays and Sundays, I might do it at home, or I may take those 2 days off. But at least 5 days a week, I'm in the gym. I try to get there 7 days. Now, I'm not in there lifting for 3 hours. I don't have time for that. I got a 40-minute workout and I maybe got 15 or 20 minutes on the treadmill. I'm trying to add in some treadmill time. Again, I don't have kids. I don't have small children. So I'm in a season of life that I can do that. But when you go to your doctor and you look at your blood work and everything, put a plan in place so that you can, as best as you can, give your family long life. The one thing I wish I could give my husband, I can't give him. I can't give him my body. I've already given that away. I was married before. But I can say, babe, I don't have this to give, but I do have the gift of health. I do have the gift of health. And if you want it, I'm giving it to you. I'm making it avail. I got to move. A wife of noble character is generous to her neighbors and those less fortunate than her and her family. I want to be generous in my community. I want people to understand, hey, we don't have it. Go to Shakima. I've fed people. I've given people money. I've been driving and the Lord told me to turn around and go back to somebody's house and empty out my wallet. I've heard the voice of the Lord tell me to do that. And I did it with faithfulness and fidelity, not even worrying about myself, because I knew that God was going to take care of me. He says, given it shall be given unto you, good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, shall he cause men to give unto your bosom. And I'm promising you that when you are obedient to the Lord, when you are willing and obedient, you'll eat the good of the land. I promise you, that's the thing. Listen to me now, because I'm about to get out of here. A Wife of noble character is classy. She is intentionally classy. We not out here about to be ratchet with our words. We not about to be ratchet with our dress. We not about to be ratchet with our kids. Listen, I get it that kids is cute and all of this is getting us social media exposure, but my children gonna be children for as long as they can be children. Sit down somewhere, period. That's how I'm doing it over here. You do your household the way you want to do it. I'm going to do my household the way I want to do it. And we'll just see at the end of the day what the result is. A wife of noble character desires to make her husband the talk of the town, not through trashy and poor behavior, but because of her grace and her quiet spirit and her dignity. I pray continually, Lord, gentle my spirit, because I know I got a slick tongue. I know I can come off crazy sometimes, but I pray for that. Lord, put a guard, set a watch over my mouth so that I don't say things that are not everything that you think shouldn't come out of your mouth. Lord, please set a guard, set a watch. I don't want to just say everything. Teach me what to say. Teach me when to say it. Teach me to whom to say it. Sit down somewhere. Sit down. I mean it. Sit down. All out here in people's face. Get somewhere and sit it down. Jesus, y'all pray for me. My God. But I'm telling you, there's something about the way a woman carries herself that is going to either be positively reflected or negatively reflected back on her man. And he might not even have anything to do with it. But because he chose her, now she represents him. And so if you want to make sure that your husband has the right positive thoughts about him, it's going to be based on how you carry you and how you carry that family. Kids looking out here crazy by the head and you dressed to the nines, honey, face beat to the high heavens, hairs on fleek, and your kids is looking raggedy. They talking about you and your man. They talking about y'all. They are. Now, here's the thing. Everybody can't afford to go out here and get everybody's hair done. Learn. Please listen. This is for my interracial loving couples. I'm here for you, and I want that for you. I'm here for you. But here's the thing. When you realize that your hair texture and his hair texture created this baby hair texture, you're going to need to either one, find somebody that can do that baby hair, or two, find somebody that can do that baby hair, or three, learn how to do that baby hair, because they are talking about y'all. I don't care who you love. Don't let them babies be out here looking crazy. Period. I already told my sons, I don't care who you bring home, long as she love the Lord. Because if she don't love the Lord, we praying for her up out of here. But as long as she love the Lord, but if she don't look nothing like me, make sure she know how to do my grandbaby's hair, or tell me where the nearest salon at so I can pay for the babies, because I'm not about to be out here. We're not about to be out here by the head looking crazy. It's irresponsible. It's I can love who I want. Yes, you can. But when you realize that your 4C and your 3A make some kind of conglomeration in the middle, I'm going to need that to be fixed. Fix it immediately. Okay, I'm going to move on. I got to leave that, but I'm serious. I'm not playing with none of y'all. A wife of noble character is a skillful communicator to everyone with whom she speaks. Now, I'm not telling you you have to be the greatest orator of life, but I am telling you it is beneficial for you to learn how to put together a sentence, at least a sentence. That's not ebonics. That's not 3-letter words, and that's not trash either. Okay. Everything that comes out of your mouth does not have to be a cuss word. It really doesn't. You don't have to have the Encyclopedia Britannica in your brain, but you can know how to say something that makes sense, and where you're talking to people like you value what they have to say because you want them to value what you have to say. And in retrospect, when you think about it, the way you speak teaches your children how to speak. If you want to know what you sound like, listen to your kids. I can listen to my children and know exactly what I sound like because they sound exactly like me. When I saw that little girl with her dad and he was doing the hair, she was like, I told you, Daddy, please. You're talking too much. I don't want you to talk anymore. I'm like, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, and everybody else. That conversation has been had before, because she only about 5 or 6. She might be 6 or 7. I don't know. Right. So that conversation she has heard. It is of the utmost import. I believe this with my whole spirit, that husbands and wives do not argue in front of your children. Keep those private moments private. We might have to have a discussion later, but we are not going to argue. We're not going to discuss this sensitive information in front of these people, because they're not involved. There may be some residual effects that affects them because of the decisions we make, but they're not involved in this. And what we're going to do is be adults, and we're going to discuss this later. I'm going to meet you in the bedroom at 9, because they go to bed at 8:30. I got it. But we're not going to discuss this in front of the children. A wife of noble character is an excellent manager of all the things home. I'm going back to this for 1 second. Your home is your job. It's your responsibility. Yes, I know you work. And yes, I know there are plenty of husbands that help in the household. I'm not saying he doesn't have to help, but I'm saying the overall management of your home is yours. The outside, I don't do outside stuff. I do inside stuff. And so here's the thing that I like to say. Listen to me. Listen to Shakima and lean in. If you are not a cleanly person, if you don't know how to manage your household, if you don't know how to clean, this is what I told someone else who I value a lot, and they value my opinion. Put it in your budget. Make it a line item. If you have enough money to have a cleaner come in because you are not a good at cleaning, then put it on your budget to have someone come in and clean your house. It will take off so much pressure from you. But your family deserves to live in a clean, tidy, sanitized space. Now, I'm not telling you that I'm looking at my baseboards going crazy. We getting ready to have an event in the house, and I promise you, every little person in here, myself included, will be on the floor getting them baseboards together, because nobody's coming up in here talking about, oh, did y'all see her baseboards? They weren't even clean. No, that's not the life we living around here, but we gonna be doing it. I work all throughout the year, but I don't work in the summer. The summertime is the best time to deep clean my house, because I'm home for 10 straight weeks. 10 straight weeks, I ought to have decluttered and deep cleaned and fan blades and all the other, taking all the stuff down, washing it, soaking it up real good. That's my responsibility and due diligence as a wife of my husband. A wife of noble character should be above all allegations and wrongdoing. Does she do stuff wrong? Sure, but not intentionally. She's not out here just doing stuff crazy and reckless, because again, that all comes back and falls on her husband. He has to give an account to, why is your wife like this? Especially with the family. Why she act like that? Where you get her from? Where you find her at? Oh my God. We can't never take her. No, geez. No, we don't want y'all to come. If she got to come, no. That should never be a thing. We're always thinking in the back of our mind how our behavior is going to affect our spouse. Same goes true for the other way around. I'm just speaking to the wife part. Okay, I'm not letting the husband off the hook, but I'm just speaking to the wife. And the last thing that I want to say is this: children, hers, his, and theirs, will rise up and call her blessed. There are no mine and yours. They ours. They're ours. If a man tries to talk to me and he has no relationship with his children, I cannot be with you, because I'm not going to have them mad at me for why you have a relationship with my children and not them. Now, if you want to reconcile that relationship, I'm here to help you. I'm here to go between. I'm here to talk to mom, whatever you need me to do. But you're not going to come over here and love up on my children and treat your kids like they don't exist for them to be mad at me. He just go when he with her and he just loving up on her kids. Guess what? I already been through that with my parents. I've been through that with my dad, watching him love up on somebody else's kids and not pay me any bit of attention. No, I'm not. I can't have that. I won't facilitate that. But if you're trying to get close and you want to reconcile, I'm here for that. But if you know outright you ain't doing nothing, you ain't paying no child support, that mama struggling. I've been through the struggle. Player, you not about to get me out here looking crazy. What is your child support order? Are you paying? You don't have an order? Very good. Let's look at this budget and figure out how much you can squeeze out every week to send to them children because you made them. That's me. That's not everybody. That's me. That's not everybody. That's why I probably don't have nobody right now, because I'm not playing with you. If you can't take care of them, there's no way in the world I can expect you to take care of me. It's not a thing. Here's the thing. A wife is so much more than a warm body or a baby carrier. We love all that. A wife is so much more than her pretty fried chicken. That is how I was described. Ooh, she fries the prettiest brown chicken. They knew I was going to be a wife because I was a good cook. My daughter said to me the other day, she said, Mom, when you get a man, he going to fall in love with you the first time you cook for him. I'm a good cook, excellent cook, actually. Not because I want to be. I was raised that way. My grandmother was an excellent cook. I just learned right there in the kitchen, right by that elbow. I learned. And I'm good at it. But I'm not just that. I'm not my fried chicken. I'm more than that. A wife is so much more to the husband she makes a lifelong covenant with. My true desire is to join my life with a man God has preordained for me to create and leave a lasting legacy, much different than the legacy that was left for me. I knew nothing about marriage. My parents were never married. My mom was never married. The only one of her siblings out of 15 kids, the only one never married. My desire is to add to, not take away, to grow old with, enjoy my golden years with, and to be a role model of a woman, wife, and mother to my girls and all of the little girls in the world who have never witnessed that. I want to be an asset, not a liability. I was born for this work, absolutely born for this. This is my portion. And I know that, and I'm thankful for it. Yes, it is work, but not work to be done grudgingly. It's a labor of love towards the ones we love. There's nothing that they need that I wouldn't do for the good of my family. Nothing. Now, I'm not going to do illegal stuff. I'm not going to jail. Not for me. Not for none of y'all. Period. Being a wife is a worthy cause that many should desire, not for what we gain from it, but for the benefits being provided to those around us. Like I do every night before I leave, I want to ask you, do you know him? Because it's only through knowing Jesus that the desire to wife, the desire to teach wifing and mothering could be born in my heart. I didn't have that role model. It was the Lord that helped me to get to this place, and I'm thankful for that. If you don't know the Lord, you can. It's not hard, neither is it work. It's a simple introduction and an agreement to continue on with fellowship. God, I need somebody. He's like, I'm here. I'm available. What you want to do? And y'all just get together and y'all walk hand in hand. So you don't have to worry about purity culture where Jesus is concerned. He's not going to do anything to defile you anyway. He's just going to hold your hand and he's going to walk you through this thing called life so that it is better than you ever thought it could have been. He wants to know you on an intimate level. He wants to create and commit covenant with you if you will let him. That's very simple. And I hope you did that. If you did that tonight, remember, all of heaven is rejoicing. I'm rejoicing with you. Welcome to the family. As they say at the Rock San Antonio, welcome home. We love you. We're excited for you. And if you haven't got to that point yet, y'all stick with me, right? Because it's going to be good. Now, I'll be back on Wednesday for day 40. We're going to talk about we, us. We, us. I'm not here on Tuesday nights, right? So don't expect me tomorrow night, but I will be back on Wednesday. Day 40. We're on our way, y'all. We're almost at the end of the thing. Just keep trekking with Shakima for the next 40 days. It's all going to be good. Do a favor, like the video, share, subscribe, follow, do all the things on whatever platform you're on. And I will see you all on Wednesday. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye, y'all. See you later.